What's going on? Sean of Math Swap Tutoring here. A lot of people get confused when it comes to graphing inequalities. So in this video, I'm going to provide you with some quick pointers, which hopefully will help you to once and for all know what to do when it comes to graphing inequalities. Okay, I've made these examples that I want to go over very quickly, so pay attention, and then make sure you let me know in the comments if this helps. All right, so let's start off with this first inequality I have here. Y is less than 4. First of all, remember that's greater than, because the mouth is pointing toward the number on the left, less than, and then you have greater than or equal to, which will have the line underneath. Less than or equal to have the line underneath. So Y is less than 4. First of all, what you want to do is treat the inequality like an equal sign initially. And so you want to do that so you can kind of graph it as normal, okay? Because the inequality stuff doesn't really become important until later. All right, so if we were graphing y equals 4, you go up 4 on the y-axis, so right here, and then you would graph a horizontal line, okay? Now, because this is it's not less than or equal to, this means you need to have a broken line like this. So you're gonna graph it like this. Okay, this is the way that looks. Now, if it was less than or equal to, then it would be a solid line. All right, so there you go. Now, where do you shade? Here's the deal. Here's what you have to remember. This says y is less than 4. If the line is y equals 4, what you want to look for is consider what the inequality says. Y less than 4. So that means values of y that are less than that line 4. Okay, so literally all that is talking about values of y that are less than 4, which means anything underneath the line is it qualifies, because we're talking about y less than that line equals 4. So that's all values underneath that line. Okay? All right, cool. Now let's erase that. We'll go on to the next example. Y is greater than x plus 1. So again, treat the inequality like an equal sign initially. So you can graph it. We graph the y-intercept, which is at y equals 1, and then we're going to use the slope, which is 1 over 1, I guess you could say it like that. So it's going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and so on and so forth. Again, this is greater than or equal. I mean, this is greater than, not greater than or equal to. So this is a broken line. So remember that. So this is how this looks. Okay, let's do some in the other direction. Okay, again, y is greater than x plus 1. So y equals x plus 1 is that line. It's the line itself. We are looking at values of greater than that line. And so we're talking about in the positive y direction. So where is that? That's everything that is above the line, okay? Everything above the line. That's greater than, because it's in the positive y direction. And then it has to be above that line. So that means it's everything above that line. it qualifies as greater than x plus 1. All right, good. Now we have one more. Hopefully this is helpful. Third example, we have a quadratic, a parabola. Y is less than or equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. It works the same way. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to try to factor this to see if I can find like a vertex and whatnot to help me to graph this. So let's see, y equals, I'm going to treat the inequality like an equal sign. X squared plus 2x plus 1. This is easily factorable. That should be x, y equals x plus 1 quantity squared. So that means the vertex is located at, was it x minus h? So it's going to be at -1, 0, because the vertex is located at this x value, which uh, is -1, and then the y value, which will usually be added here, there is none, so it's 0. I believe I've done a video on graphing quadratics that you might want to check out. All right, so -1, 0 is right here. That's the vertex. Okay. Now, for the sake of just kind of making this a quick example, I'm not going to like find the y-intercept or well, hold on, let me just do that. So the y-intercept is where x is equal to 0. So it's basically just going to be at 1. So it goes through 1 right here. So that means this kind of looks kind of like this. And notice that the line is not broken now because of this. It's less than or equal to. Now, where do I shade? We shade for values that are less than this line. So values that are less than this line are going to be values that are underneath the line because that's in the lower y values direction. You're looking at values that are lower than the line. So that's going to be values that are underneath, okay? So that's the way that that works. Now, again, if you ever have any confusion, because sometimes what can be difficult is whenever you have, especially lines, let me draw this and then we'll conclude this video. Like the second example I gave, say for example, you have a line that looks like this. And you're like, where is underneath? Like if you're doing, I mean not underneath, but where are less than values? It's going to be underneath the graph. Why? Because we're talking about y, lower y values that are lower than the line are underneath in the negative y direction, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to conclude this here. If you have another example of something an inequality that is confusing to you, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to explain it to you in another video. Otherwise, let me know if this video was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thank you for watching this video. If you need math tutoring or you need SAT math help, look in the description to find out how you can sign up today. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you stay in touch with Math Swap Tutoring on YouTube. Have a good one.